Utopia had just one set of laws. When Sir Thomas More designed his imaginary republic, he endowed it with a firm commitment to forging a legally uniform empire. Whenever Utopia's population became too large, explained More's narrator, its inhabitants would found a colony under their own laws. The colonizers would willingly intermingle with the local population, but only if the natives would absorb the same way of life and the same customs as the Utopians. Anyone who refused to accept Utopian law was expelled. It's unclear whether More himself would have endorsed this approach, but his book gave a pretty good forecast of England's legal policy in the first phase of its imperial expansion. In the 17th and early 18th centuries, England, after 1707 Britain, generally sought to extend English law throughout its empire. This pursuit of a common law empire was never seamless. The laws of Scotland and England's overseas possessions all differed to varying degrees, and the common law itself made room for local customs. But although each jurisdiction was different, lawyers and policymakers generally saw legal diversity as something to be managed, not encouraged. This chapter provides an overview of Britain's approach to legal pluralism in the early modern era, especially between the Restoration, 1660, and the 7 Years' War, 1754 to 63. It begins with a broad overview of the competing impulses toward uniformity and diversity within English legal and political thought, describing how the law varied in practice and the extent to which policymakers extended English law to new territories and populations. The chapter then zooms in to closely examine the 1740s, which marked the zenith of Britain's commitment to legal uniformity. Focusing on Whig responses to the 1745 Jacobite uprising, this chapter reveals that many politicians and legal theorists believed that the security and prosperity of Britain depended on more closely harmonizing English and Scottish law. Importantly, writers who reached that conclusion did so despite their engagement with Montesquieu's analysis of legal diversity in The Spirit of the Laws, 1748. Although that treatise is sometimes treated as a turning point in European approaches to colonial law, it initially did little to check Britain's commitment to building a common law empire.